All right, guys, so we're continuing the series that we're currently doing on the World War One just recap, where Epic History have kindly put into a playlist some of the most, I guess, highlights of the World War One, and I'm watching that in chronological order right now. I'm on episode 4. So for those guys wondering, if you want to see all my previous reactions I've done to 1914, 15, and 16, it'll be in a playlist I'll be linking at the top of the description or somewhere in the description. You guys should see it. Guys, if you've been loving these videos and you want to keep going, then continue to smash the like button and let me know what other videos you want to check out from Epic History. And of course, don't forget to check out their original channel and like this original video so if you want to watch it about skips and whatnot, pauses. And guys, I'm also doing some extra exclusive content on my Patreon. So if you guys also want to check out some of those and support the channel as well, then that'd be a great way to do so. But with that being said, let's get straight into this video. Let's go! I love this intro music. Battle of the Somme, 1st of July 1916, in partnership with Osprey Publishing. Okay.
1916.
Glass door, come on.
Europe is in the grips of the most destructive conflict yet known.
Wow.
World War I.
Yeah. Very destructive.
Much of the fiercest fighting takes place on the Western Front, where British, French and German armies are locked in a bloody stalemate along 450 miles of trenches.
450 miles is mad.
There have been millions of casualties, but
Crazy.
neither side can break the deadlock.
That's crazy, man.
The combination of barbed wire, machine guns and heavy artillery means troops trying to cross no man's land, the open ground between the trenches, are slaughtered en masse. The advantage is always with the defender. But the Allies are committed to more attacks.
Wow,
They're determined to liberate the parts of France and Belgium that were occupied by Germany in the first months of the war.
Okay.
The British and French have agreed to launch a joint offensive in the summer of 1916.
Okay, working together.
But the Germans strike first. In February, they launch a massive assault on the French fortress city of Verdun. Its defense requires all available French reserves. So the summer offensive will be led by the British, their biggest attack of the war so far.
Wow.
Its chief aim now, to relieve pressure on the French at Verdun.
Wow. Hey, look, and you guys are commenting as well, telling me about how a lot of the reasons why a lot of these battles and stuff was going on is because there was such an immense pressure on the government to get a win or a victory, or they held them to the standard of getting that victory. So I guess that's what encouraged a lot of these just pushes, right, where there's a big slaughters involved, which that's vaguely what I feel like you guys are saying in the last couple of episodes. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's mad. The big push, man. The big push.
The attack will take place along a 25-mile front near the River Somme in July. The new British commander, General Sir Douglas Haig, would prefer to attack near Ypres, where there are clearer strategic objectives. But the Somme is where the British and French armies meet, so where a joint offensive must take place. He would also prefer to wait until his inexperienced divisions have received more training. But the French need his help now.
Wow, okay, so there's pressure here that he has to kind of get involved with this joint attack. Okay.
Need his help now. The Somme has so far been a quiet sector, allowing the Germans to build up strong defensive positions. Here, the Germans have 2 formidable defensive lines,
that's deep,
with a third under construction. Each consists of 3 lines of trenches: fire, support, and reserve, connected by communication trenches.
That's deep.
They bristle with machine gun positions and are anchored on fortified villages and strongpoints.
Okay, so no way the British and the French get through that. Surely. Like, he was already talking earlier about how, you know, the whole no man's land, how, you know, the person with the advantage is the ones who are defending. because they've got all this artillery that you go, it's like humans versus machines here that before you even get to the trench. But that doesn't, no way they get through that, right?
In front of the trenches, there are thick belts of barbed wire.
Barbed wire as well.
Below are dugouts, some 10 meters deep, to shelter German troops from artillery fire. Telephone lines buried 6 feet deep allow troops at the front to communicate with artillery batteries during an attack.
That's deep.
The German troops that hold the line are well trained, and most are combat veterans.
Wow. Yeah, you're not getting past that. You know, they know we're coming, all right.
The offensive will be led by the British Fourth Army.
No, this is so interesting. I'm so intrigued right now. Okay, this battle is looking like it's gonna be crazy.
The offensive will be led by the British Fourth Army, commanded by Lieutenant General Sir Henry Rawlinson.
Okay.
With Haig, he draws up the plan of attack. To overcome the Germans' formidable defences, the British will carry out a massive, week-long artillery bombardment with 1,400 guns.
Okay.
This is expected to destroy German barbed wire, flatten trenches, and kill their occupants.
Okay. Wow.
19 mines are also dug under key German strongpoints and filled with explosive, ready to detonate just before the attack begins.
Wow, okay. They got mines.
To the north, the British Third Army will make a diversionary attack at Gommecourt. The 16 British and French infantry divisions are then expected to take their objectives with minimal opposition. The attack will begin at 7:30 a.m. in broad daylight, so the artillery can observe its fire.
Okay.
British morale is high, and the men are confident of victory.
Really?
Many of the units taking part are PALS battalions, the eager recruits of 1914,
wow.
Now about to face combat for the first time.
Okay, so I'm assuming, like, you know, these guys are about to go out first are like the more less experienced one, because you got like the British Army 3 and 4, they seem to be more experienced. I'm not too sure.
But on the eve of the assault, there are worrying reports that the British bombardment has been only partially successful. 1.6 million shells are fired, but due to inexperienced gun crews, a shortage of heavy guns, and faulty shells, much of the German barbed wire remains intact. German defenders, too, are largely unscathed in their deep dugouts.
Haven't even got past the barbed wire.
And from captured prisoners and listening in on uncoded telephone calls, the Germans know exactly when and where the British are coming.
So this is what I was talking about, because you can see that there's definitely communication going on just with the Allies in general, and I guess, you know, the Germans and stuff. But surely you just need someone to just tap into those lines and it's done, man. Like, it's just, a lot of people are going to die because of those things.
The Germans know exactly when and where the British are coming.
Unless it's tactical.
The Allied artillery bombardment reaches its peak at 7 a.m. At 7:20, the British detonate an enormous mine under a German strongpoint, the Hawthorne Redoubt.
Oh, okay.
British troops rush forward to occupy the crater.
Wow.
At 7:28, further mines are detonated under German strongpoints along the front.
Wow, okay.
At 7:30, the Allied bombardment moves on to the German second line.
Wow,
as British and French infantry begin their advance across no man's land.
Okay, they got past it.
German troops, meanwhile, race up from their dugouts to set up machine guns.
Oh, not machine guns.
It's an enduring myth that all the British infantry climb out of their trenches and walk steadily towards the German line.
Wow.
A few units do, but most send men out into no man's land before the bombardment lifts. So the final dash toward the enemy line is as short as possible.
Wow.
But in the northern sector, whichever tactics are used, the British are easy targets for German machine gunners,
right.
Especially where they bunch up to get through the few gaps in the barbed wire.
That's mad.
The British infantry advance bravely. but are mown down in their hundreds.
I can't believe that. Like, even just that
Some
whole,
units do break into the German
just that
line.
whole no man's land concept where you're rushing across the land with the mentality knowing that you're probably gonna be most likely killed. Wow, like the mental fortitude you have to build up to put yourself through that, or maybe you're just crazy, or maybe you're on drugs, because yeah, like that is wow, really putting your life on the line like that, man, with confidence.
Hundreds. Some units do break into the German line. Near Thiepval, the 36th Ulster Division captures the Schwaben redoubt. But without support on either flank, it's isolated, and the survivors are forced to retreat that night. On their right, the 32nd Division takes the Leipzig redoubt, while near La Boisselle, the 34th Division captures the Lochnagar mine crater. But these are just small toeholds in the German line, far short of their objectives.
Wow. So, I don't know, was it a waste? I don't know, I guess I'm about to find out. They made progress, probably the most progress they made in a while so far in the war, but I guess, like you said, short of their objectives. Fog of war. German gas again?
In World War I, one of the greatest challenges faced by commanders is getting accurate information about the course of the battle.
Okay.
Reliable field radios haven't been invented yet. Telephone lines are regularly cut by shell fire.
Right.
So officers must turn to messengers, flag signals, light signals, even homing pigeons.
Really?
None of which is completely reliable. To get around this problem, during an attack, supporting artillery works to a fixed timetable, moving their fire onto the next line of enemy defences at a set time.
Okay.
So when the infantry start their attack, gunners adjust their fire onto the second line of enemy defences. But if the infantry get held up, the supporting fire keeps moving on according to the timetable. The infantry get left behind and are at the mercy of enemy machine guns.
Let me just let that play again, because I just want to understand what's going on.
Their fire onto the second line.
Focusing fire on the
onto the next line of enemy defences at a set time.
Okay.
So when the infantry start their attack, gunners adjust their fire onto the second line of enemy defences. But if the infantry get held up, the supporting fire keeps moving on according to the timetable.
Really?
The infantry get left behind and are at the mercy of enemy machine guns.
Wow, okay.
Aerial observation by balloons and aircraft can provide valuable information, but rely on good weather and control of the skies.
Right.
This is why, on the 1st of July, it takes British commanders hours, even days, to find out which attacks have been successful and which have failed.
Wow.
This makes it extremely difficult for them to react to the situation with any speed.
Yeah, so the whole lack of, like, being able to effectively communicate is going to make things so much harder and worse, which makes sense. I hear it. Gains in the south. Okay. Making progress.
Further south, there is much greater success. Despite heavy losses, the 21st and 7th Divisions take Mametz and cut off the heavily defended village of Fricourt, which the Germans abandon overnight. On their right, the 18th and 30th Divisions take their objectives, including the village of Montauban, which is secure by 11 a.m.
Nice, 11 a.m.
Alongside them, the veteran French 20th Corps also takes its first day objectives, as well as 2,500 German prisoners.
Wow.
The Germans didn't expect the offensive to extend so far south, and are less well prepared.
I see.
And, crucially, the Allied bombardment is boosted by French heavy guns, which are much more effective at destroying barbed wire and German strongpoints. At 9:30 a.m., French colonial troops lead the attack south of the Somme River. The French seize all their objectives and take 3,000 more prisoners.
Really? That's
Despite
big.
success in the south, the first day of the Battle of the Somme is a costly failure for the British.
Yeah, all of that in one day as well. Wow.
German losses for the day are estimated at 12,000 men. The French lose 7,000. But the British suffer a staggering 57,000 casualties. 1/3 of them killed.
Yeah, because they were doing too much in the north, man. Doing too much. And then again, like, the communication wasn't as good there, but it was just, I feel like it was just disorganized, man. When they go as planned, really.
1/3 of them killed.
But what do I know?
The 1st of July, 1916, becomes the bloodiest day in the history of the British Army.
Wow.
And it's just the first day in a battle that rages for another 4 months.
What?
Finally ending in November, amid freezing rain and mud. By then, the Allies have advanced 10 miles, at a cost of 430,000 British casualties,
That's crazy.
200,000 French casualties, and 450,000 German. It makes the Battle of the Somme one of the bloodiest in history.
Right. No wonder why it gets a whole episode dedicated to it.
In British popular memory, the Somme is remembered as an unmitigated disaster and tragedy.
Okay.
Evidence of the incompetence of British generals and the pointless sacrifice of the gallant soldiers under their command.
It just like hella disorganized.
But to those who fought it and those at home, the Battle of the Somme was seen as a success.
Okay.
Casualties were enormous and hard to bear, but across Europe every warring nation was suffering terrible losses, as all commanders struggled to find an answer to trench warfare. And at the Somme, the British had not only helped save their French ally, who went on to defeat the Germans at Verdun, but learned vital lessons about how to fight on the Western Front. Most of all, the Battle of the Somme had been a costly but necessary wearing down of the German army. An immensely painful but vital step on the long road to victory.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Maps and research for this video come from Osprey Publishing.
Guys, look, of course, like, I'm gonna leave a link to their video and stuff in the description below for those of you guys that made this point. It looks like the video has ended here. Guys, yeah, like, just to say, the Battle of the Somme, like you said, ends up probably being one of the most bloodiest battles, especially for the British in World War I. But you know, I guess he's saying, like, to the troops, this was like a victory in the end, like, and they learn a lot. But I guess to the general public, or like looking at it in hindsight, you know, it just looked like there was this thing, like you said, the incompetency of the commanders. A lot of good men had to die for little gain. And wow, what a recap, man! What a recap! So much happened in the first day of the Battle of the Somme, and it goes on for another 4 months. Damn, man, damn, wow. Shout out to Epic History, man, guys. Shout out to you guys who made this point. Comment down a red heart for those that fought in the war, just so we can show commiserations towards them. And yeah, man. I also want to know who my real ones are, of course, who made this point. Like, look, God, like, thank God we don't have to go through some of that stuff nowadays, because just the mindset you would have to been in to be in these positions is crazy. I can't even imagine. And yeah, wow. It's insane when you really think about it, guys. But look, I've been your boy JayFlex. This has been the Battle of the Somme 1916. And for those of you guys who made this point, you guys have been absolutely wonderful. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.